Hello everyone. With a treasure of useful tips, I, Vistar Sharma, welcome you to our Seco. We are discussing exams with multiple choice questions, and today's topic is Know the types of questions. We've already discussed two types of questions, that is standard questions or independent standalone questions and questions dependent on provided statements. Now we will discuss the remaining types, that is reading comprehension, data interpretation and logical reasoning. So let's start with the third type of question, which is reading comprehension. In these type of questions, a passage is given as a reading material. A set of questions is asked based on this passage. As the name itself suggests, you have to comprehend things and all the answers are not straightforward. A good tip to know is that some people find it easier to comprehend if they quickly go through the questions and options first and then read the passage. This way, your brain knows what to look for in the passage. Try and see if the same works for you as well. Let's take an example of reading comprehension. So this is the reading material in the form of passage. India is a vast country full of diversity. On one hand, there are some of the tallest mountains of the world, while on the other there is a long coastline stretching for thousands of kilometers. It has a variety of plants and animals, many of which are not found anywhere else in the world. It is also home to exceptional diversity when it comes to languages and culture. More than 850 languages are spoken in India. Now, let's look at the question and the options. Now the question says, which statement is not true according to the passage? Now we must be very careful with not true here. We have to find out of the statements given in the options, which one is not true. So let's look at the option 1, that is, India is a very diverse country. Now it's a very straightforward option which we can clearly find in the passage. The first line says, India is a vast country full of diversity. So statement A is certainly true. Let's move on to the next one, which says India has some tall mountains. Again, a very straightforward one given here, which says there are some of the tallest mountains of the world. So statement B is also true, so it cannot be the answer. Let's see statement C. It says Indian land touches the sea. Now we cannot find any straightforward statement talking about the land touching the sea. But there is a statement which says there is a long coastline stretching for thousands of kilometers. Now we have to comprehend that since there is a coastline, there would be the sea touching the land of India. So statement C is also true. Now let's see where do we see a statement about languages, because option D is all Indians speak many languages, and we can find a statement that says more than 850 languages are spoken in India. So we can see the highlighted area in option D which says Indians speak many languages. It can be proven because there are 850 languages spoken in India, so Indians speak many languages. But nowhere is it mentioned that all Indians speak many languages. So the statement is not correct because all Indians cannot speak many languages, or at least the passage does not tell us that all Indians can speak many languages. So the correct answer is option D. Okay, now let's move to the next type of questions, that is data interpretation. Now these are generally sets of questions based on some data provided in the form of a chart, graph, diagram, passage, etc. Most questions require some basic calculation of ratio and proportion, percentage, profit and loss, etc. All these have to be done on the data provided. Now, if your fundamentals are strong in understanding basic charts and graphs along with some fast calculation skills, you will find these questions relatively very easy. Let's take an example of data interpretation. Here we can see annual export data for XYZ company. We can clearly see that there's a bar graph given here for years 1999, 2000, 2001 and 2002, and there are different values for the exports given. Let's see the questions and the options. So the question is, what is the growth from year 2000 to 2001, and there are four options, that is 10%, 14%, 20% and 84%. So let's isolate the 2000 and 2001 years from the data. Okay, now we can clearly see that in the year 2000 the export was 70 million US dollars, and in year 2001 it was 84 million US dollars. So now we have to find out the growth percent. So here comes the calculation of percentages. So the growth percentage is final value minus initial value divided by the initial value, which makes it 84 minus 70 divided by 70, or 14 by 70, which is nothing but 0.2 or 20%. So the correct option is option C, 20%. Let's move to the next type of questions, logical reasoning. Now these might be solo questions as well as a set of questions which require some degree of logic or reasoning to solve. Generally, a hypothetical case or situation or statements reveal some information. You have to deduce the remaining information logically from the information already provided. These are often high risk, high return scenarios. If you solve the case accurately, all your answers are often correct. But if you don't solve the case properly, all the answers might go wrong. Let's take an example of a logical reasoning question. A case is given to us which says, four friends are named Jack, Mike, Sam and John. And there are a few statements given about these friends. They say Sam is older than Mike, Mike is older than Jack, and Jack is not the youngest. And the question asked to us is, who is the youngest of them all? And the options are obviously the four friends, Jack, Mike, Sam and John. So let's go through the statements one by one. Now, the first statement says Sam is older than Mike. So let's put Sam at the top and Mike after him. The second statement says Mike is older than Jack, which necessarily means Jack is younger than Mike. So let's put Jack below Mike. And the last statement says Jack is not the youngest. So here we see Sam is older than Mike, who is older than Jack, and Jack is not the youngest. So there must be someone younger than Jack. So yes, there's a position below Jack which is empty, and we have got one person left. So there's no other choice but John must fit at that empty position below Jack. And so the answer is John, who is the youngest of them all. This is how we solve the types of questions which are based on logical reasoning. There can be many different types of logical reasoning questions. We just took a simple example. So we learned today that it might suit some people to read the questions before reading the passage in a reading comprehension question. Having good fundamentals of some basic topics can make data interpretation very fruitful. Logical reasoning cases are mostly high risk, high return scenarios. You must practice many scenarios to be able to benefit from them. This video is a part of a whole series of videos. Do watch all of them for maximum benefit. For more such useful tips and secrets to success, watch, like, share and subscribe to Aao Seekho. Thank you.